I hope Alex wins. That's crazy. At 3 times. Yeah. Gane's no joke, and Gane can dance around him. Gane's slick to knock him out as well. But I think Alex can knock him out too.
I'm telling you, this is a different thing you're dealing with. I mean, there's great kickboxers. There's a lot of great kickboxers. There's knockout artists. This is different. Yeah. It's like a different kind of human. He's built different. There's something about him. It's also the style is different. Yeah. The movement is different. The way he's able to land extraordinary power with no telegraph. The way he's able to damage your calves and slowly start breaking you down.
I've never seen anyone ever throw punches that hard. When he hits people, he doesn't like go through their face. I feel like he moves.
Here's what people don't understand about Alex Pereira's terror factor, and I'm not exaggerating. You need to completely recalibrate your concept of devastating power because everything you knew just became obsolete. Francis Ngannou dominated as the ultimate knockout artist for years, setting the benchmark that every striker was measured against. But something absolutely ruthless is rising from the light heavyweight ranks, and it's redefining what's possible in striking entirely. This isn't promotional nonsense or manufactured hype. Experts who've witnessed every form of violence are describing a fighter who doesn't just hurt opponents, but literally displaces their entire body structure with single strikes. We're talking about moving someone's complete physical form, not just rocking them or making them stumble. This transcends normal technique or timing that gyms teach. It's alien kinetic force that makes traditional defenses worthless, like blocking a speeding truck with cardboard. For Ciryl Gane, a heavyweight celebrated for elusive footwork and surgical precision, this represents a threat beyond anything in his career. How do you prepare for power that defies physics? How do you strategize against something that isn't human in the conventional sense? This isn't fighting superior skills or conditioning. This is confronting a different species of fighter who genuinely enjoys inflicting pain. This hidden reality haunts UFC executives behind closed doors. Combat rules are evolving before our eyes, and Pereira writes new ones with every devastating performance.
Pereira is very good at stalking his opponents. He's very good at walking people down, walking into their range, and then slipping and countering. You know, he's very good at slipping and countering, slip and counter, cover, slip, counter. These chains of single shots that Pereira does, it gives him a lot of flexibility in the moment to be able to adapt his attack. It also means that every punch he throws has been considered because he's not throwing combinations because that's what's been preset in his central nervous system. He's throwing the strikes that he knows are going to be applicable because he's watching his opponent.
Alex Pereira's name now carries psychological weight that crushes fighters before competition begins, dissolving years of built confidence and infiltrating the mental landscape of every division he touches. This transcends typical power punching that the UFC has seen countless times. This is someone whose mere presence drains opponents' fighting spirit before gloves touch. Picture standing across from this man, knowing absolutely that every movement you make is being analyzed by a mind that genuinely enjoys hurting people. It's primal terror that reaches something deep in human psychology, cold certainty that despite your training, accomplishments, and power, you're facing something fundamentally alien. This isn't about physical measurements like reach or muscle mass. It's about an aura, stoic and terrifying calm, suggesting unshakable resolve and absolute confidence in the inevitable outcome. This psychological warfare begins long before punches fly, long before Bruce Buffer's introductions. It infiltrates minds during fight week, stare downs, quiet moments alone, planting doubt seeds that bloom into full dread as fights approach. For fighters like Gane who rely on precise distance management and tactical brilliance, staying mentally ahead, this pressure becomes an entirely new monster. How do you maintain composure when usual confidence crumbles? How do you execute game plans when feeling the cold, calculating gaze of someone who sees you not as an opponent to respect, but as another body to break on his greatness path? This invisible truth haunts heavyweights thinking about Pereira. Alex doesn't just physically beat you with strikes. He conquers spirits first, breaking wills before breaking bodies.
The potential to become a 3-weight division champion. And if he was to do that, right, it's over. There's no more discussion. the greatest, most successful fighter in UFC history, because no one else has done it. You can talk about technical abilities. You can talk about, well, he's had easy matchups. You can talk about anything you want. Oh, he hasn't fought too many wrestlers. It doesn't fucking matter. Who has won belt in 3 different weight classes? Not a single human being. Not a
Alex Pereira's uniqueness isn't raw power alone, but devastating intelligence behind every movement he makes. His approach is predatory choreography, calculated stalking that walks opponents down with patient inevitability, then executes surgical strikes with precision that seems impossible for someone carrying such power. This isn't wild brawling, hoping something connects. This is calculating assassination, treating the octagon like chess, where he's perpetually 3 moves ahead. He doesn't throw studied combinations you can prepare for on film. Every punch is deliberate calculation, precise adaptation to opponent movement, exact counters to openings only he perceives with elite striking intelligence. This adaptability is absolutely lethal, making him impossible to game plan against. Against fighters like Gane, who use movement as primary defense and rely on perfect timing for attacks, Pereira's patient, observant approach becomes a legitimate nightmare scenario. He waits without rushing, watches without blinking, learns patterns in real time, then strikes with absolute precision and unmatched force exactly when least expected. This brutal truth of facing Pereira challenges coaches struggle preparing fighters for. You're not fighting predictable patterns you can drill in camp, but fluid, responsive threats that learn and adapt live in the octagon. Any weakness shown, any momentary concentration lapses or defensive positioning errors get immediately exploited, with catastrophic consequences ending nights instantly. This technical brilliance combined with devastating raw power creates strategic dilemmas few fighters in sport history have solved.
Because how did this man hit that hard? I want some more info on. You saw the clip all week where he's hitting the punching device that Ngannou hit, and he breaks his record by like 30% or something preposterous. Why? If Ngannou was the other highest puncher, why is Pereira able to hit this hard? Why is he 30% above Ngannou? Feels like it doesn't make sense, but then also you see him, and when he hits people, they fall down.
Alex Pereira's potential UFC trajectory carries absolutely monumental implications, echoing through UFC history halls and sparking intense conversations at sports' highest levels, from Dana White's office to fighter meetings to worldwide media discussions. We're not witnessing another champion collecting belts. We're seeing real-time emergence of generational talent, genuinely capable of rewriting record books in unprecedented ways. 3-division world championship in major promotions like UFC isn't fan forum fantasy, it's tangible achievement within his reach, something actually happening within years. This transcends personal ambition or legacy building, though those factor in. It's fundamentally reshaping greatness definitions in UFC and mixed martial arts entirely. Every fight taken, every victory accumulated builds Cinderella stories, so compelling, so against odds that they captivate global fan bases. From humble beginnings most champions never experience, battling personal demons like alcoholism that destroy most people, to standing on unparalleled athletic achievement precipices remembered for generations, this narrative is pure sporting gold. For heavyweights specifically, top contenders like Gane, who fought to divisional peaks, this isn't another challenge or scheduled name, it's pivotal career moments defining legacies permanently. Facing Pereira means either joining his historic ascent as footnotes in legendary stories, or becoming giant killers, halting it yourself. Stakes are immense, not just for individual fighters, but sport legacy itself and how we remember this era. UFC power brokers scrutinize every Pereira move, understanding fundamentally that he's not just roster talent. He's phenomenon, living legend in progress, and his next steps define entire sporting eras. Everyone must face simple, brutal truth. History forges right now in real time, and everyone in its path must adapt or become footnotes in someone else's greatness story.
When he's there with his aura, with his size, with his presence, with all of that, it drains you. You know what? I made a note to myself. It was like watching a vice be tightened.
Yeah.
You ever, Ken, you watch a vice, you put a can, Sam, you put a can in a vice, and you start tightening it, and you watch the can start to just crumble, start to bend, start to collapse. That's what.
This truth bomb dropped directly into UFC hierarchy hearts, shaking everything they thought they understood about championship potential. The undisputed greatest UFC fighter could emerge from seeming nowhere just years ago. We're discussing potential 3-division champions, not just any champions, but ones achieving unprecedented feats with relatively few MMA fights compared to most legends. This isn't just impressive when considered deeply. It's utterly unprecedented in combat sports history at this level. Forget technical ability arguments, easy matchup questions, or wrestling defense concerns momentarily. Numbers speak undeniably. Nobody has accomplished this. Nobody has approached what Pereira verges on achieving. This potential alone casts long, ominous shadows over every UFC division, particularly heavyweight, where the planet's biggest, baddest fighters reside. For fighters like Gane, who pride themselves on food chain peaks, who've worked entire careers reaching these positions, potential 3-division phenomena like Pereira represent fundamental landscape shifts. It's direct challenges to established orders they've fought becoming part of, brutal truths that old rules no longer apply and games have changed. Pereira isn't trying to win belts for collections or proving something to doubters. He's etching names into eternity, being remembered as one of history's greatest combat athletes, and anyone standing in his way becomes stepping stones on unparalleled greatness paths. Historians will document decades hence.
Sometimes somebody, Cuss used to talk about this with me, where somebody can put themselves in a position to make you feel like they're an unstoppable force. Like there's nothing, like you have no say. Like you can't stop what's going to happen to you. Like it's an unstoppable force. That there's something, a force of nature, where it's just going to overcome you.
Here's where things become truly mind-blowing. His left hook is absolutely vicious, but questions aren't whether Alex Pereira hits hard anymore because we know he does. Real questions scientists and biomechanics experts attempt answering are how does he hit this hard? Science needs catching up to his power reality because conventional models don't explain it. The jaw-dropping statistic of breaking Francis Ngannou's punching records by staggering 30% isn't anomaly or fluke measurement, it's complete paradigm shifts in striking power understanding. Ngannou was devastating power benchmarks for years, true forces of nature whose punching power measured equivalent to Ford Escorts at full speed, yet Pereira, from lighter divisions without same massive frames, somehow surpasses him with seemingly inexplicable ease. This transcends weight or muscle mass or bigger frames generating force from. It's unique biomechanical efficiency that can't be taught, innate abilities generating and transferring force through entire kinetic chains defying conventional striking understanding. When watching opponents fall from his strikes, often seemingly without massive windups or telegraphs expected from such powerful shots, you immediately understand this operates in completely different power dimensions. For any heavyweight, including technical masters like Gane who understand striking at highest levels, this ultimate brutal truth keeps coaches awake nights. How do you defend against something not making sense according to traditional striking principles? How do you prepare for punches registering higher on measuring equipment than heavyweight history's hardest hitter from men who aren't natural heavyweights lacking weight class advantages? This isn't challenges overcome with right game plans. It's scientific mysteries wrapped in pure unadulterated danger that no film study amount fully prepares you for.
He really is. He's so stoic and doesn't talk, but my God, is he absolutely terrifying. That makes him even more scary. The fact that he doesn't talk, he never cracks a smile. Do you know what I mean? He's like something from a horror movie.
I think as an athlete, I think what he's done as an athlete is incredible. You know, 2-division champion and 2 different sports at the highest level of those sports, you know, shaking things up and just, yeah, bro, he's special. He's definitely a special athlete.
Questions are no longer if he can dominate another division, but who can possibly stand in his way stopping historic runs. Final chilling pieces of brutal truth about what makes Alex Pereira so terrifying is his demeanor, entire approaches to fighting mental sides. He is stoic in genuinely unsettling ways. Doesn't talk trash or engage verbal warfare. Never cracks smiles or shows emotions that would humanize him to opponents. This isn't lacking emotion or personality. This is terrifying displays of controlled, focused intent, sending clear messages about priorities. There's legitimate reason he evokes horror movie character comparisons because he has same silent, unstoppable energy. His silence makes him more menacing than any trash talk ever could because you have no idea what he's thinking or feeling. This transcends entertainment value or creating promotional characters. This is psychological weapons he wields masterfully. His calm, unblinking gaze sends crystal clear messages to everyone facing him. He is here inflicting damage and absolutely nothing else matters in those moments. This unshakable resolve, combined with incredible athletic gifts and being two-division champion in two completely different sports at highest imaginable levels, makes him truly special in combat sports history. For fighters like Gane who thrive on calculated exchanges and often seek frustrating opponents by staying just out of range, Pereira's unyielding nature presents what might be insurmountable hurdles. You cannot bait him into mistakes, cannot break him mentally with movement or frustration. He is singular force, martial artist of unparalleled destructive capability, and his silent octagon presence somehow screams loudest brutal truths of all. Alex Pereira is here, he's real, and he is threat unlike any other UFC has ever seen in entire history.